Hello, thank you so much for stopping by this video and supporting the work of SOHTIS in the run-up to Anti-Slavery Day on Sunday, the 18th of October. I'm Louise Hulland. I'm a journalist, presenter and author. I've spent the last few years investigating the crime of human trafficking and modern slavery around Britain, and I've been asked to take part in the video today because I recently released my book, Stolen Lives, which is an examination of human trafficking and modern slavery all around the UK. Stopping this crime is something that I'm really passionate about because I cannot imagine living a life where my liberty has been taken from me, where I have no contact with my loved ones, my friends, my family, where I'm forced to live with strangers in horrendous conditions, work to the bone and not receive any money. I think the small things in life we really take for granted. And if there's one thing that I've learned whilst writing Stolen Lives, it's that it is absolutely impossible to put yourself in the position that these brave people have been put in. And if there's anything that I can do to highlight their plight and to help everyone in the UK realise that modern slavery is all around us, then that's something that I'm pleased to do. The SOHTIS team asked me to share a little bit of my book with you. It's quite long, so I've just chosen a really short section that is really key. The spine of my book, whilst it is an investigation, is the story of Elena, who was a young woman from Albania who was graduating from university, and she went on holiday with her boyfriend to meet his family because she believed they were about to get engaged. So coming from such a traditional country, she knew that she couldn't get engaged and get married without having the consent of all the family members. So she went to Belgium with her boyfriend to meet his family. However, all was not what it seemed, and Elena found herself trapped in a brothel. Her boyfriend was not her future husband, but a cruel, heartless trafficker who took her liberty, took her papers, stripped her of all her freedoms, and put her in a brothel for 10 months. Her story is outlined in Stolen Lives. I follow it from beginning to end, really. It was quite an honour to share her story once she came to the UK. But this is a little bit of how we met. It's chapter 1, Elena's story. My child is 2 years now. I want to do something to work, but I'm not allowed to work. I just take £70 in a week for us. It's hard. Somebody should understand this. I'm just 24 years old and alone here. My life is very hard. Please, I know it's not your fault, but I'm tired. That was a text from Elena on the 24th of May, 2018. And the chapter starts. Walking into a busy Cafe Nero in London on a damp, cold November day in 2017, I'm greeted by 3 young women. Sarah, who works for a local charity, jumps up from her chair and greets me warmly as I apologise profusely for keeping them waiting. I'd been sitting in the wrong coffee shop. I'm then introduced to an attractive, confident, dark-haired woman in her 30s with a friendly smile who tells me her name is Christina and that she's there to translate for her friend. Holding herself back from these cheery and slightly nervous hellos is the woman I'm there to meet, Elena. She's tiny, with long, dark blonde hair tied back. Her pretty face can't hide her exhaustion, and despite a brave smile, she seems haunted. The baby she's jiggling in her arms smiles and reaches out to me, and I reach for a cuddle without hesitating. As I bounce the child on my waist and pull ridiculous faces by way of a hello, Elena turns to Christina in surprise, but I sense her nerves at meeting a journalist have receded a little. It's not just Elena who's nervous. I'm quite anxious too, despite the fact I've interviewed countless vulnerable people about the most horrific experiences of their lives. Indeed, most of my career has been spent talking to contributors who've experienced a trauma or life event that most of us couldn't possibly imagine. When someone has experienced an assault, a crime, a life-changing experience or diagnosis, it takes tremendous courage to recount it to a complete stranger, never mind the British public, and it's a responsibility that I've taken very seriously. From what I know about Elena's short life so far, I was even more wary than usual about making her relive her trauma, pressing too hard, saying the wrong thing, or triggering an emotion which could set her recovery back. I knew she wanted to tell her story, and the charity responsible for her welfare had given it the go-ahead, but I had to judge for myself how vulnerable she was, and considering my experience of working with trafficking survivors was at that point 0, I wasn't entirely sure how to establish that. An email from Sarah 2 weeks earlier had first drawn my attention to Elena's story. Sarah and I had met several times about the work she does with a small, community-based anti-trafficking charity with which I'd been interested in volunteering. When the email arrived in my inbox, I'd assumed it was to do with an upcoming training session. Little did I know that it was a message that would change my life. So there you go, that's a very, very short extract from Stolen Lives, which is an investigation into human trafficking and modern slavery in Britain. I really hope you get the chance to read around this subject. I know there are going to be loads of videos on interesting books that SOHTIS are posting this week, and I'm so honoured to be part of that collection. Thank you.